That's Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey kicking off the second phase of the program called Game Change. It's an initiative between the Patriots and the AG's office to stop domestic and sexual abuse before it even starts. And the Attorney General is joining us here tonight. Maura Healey, thanks so much for taking the time to be here tonight.
Great to be with you.
Always good to see you. Before you tell us more about this program, let's hear more from your rally at Revere High School. This was the first school in the program to have trained peer mentors who are going to teach others about the horrors of domestic violence.
You are where it's at, all right? You guys have got the power and the ability to change culture, to change how we think about and deal with one another, and to teach people good behavior. How many of you got young brothers and sisters out there? Yeah, so you're the model for them.
So when I hear that 1 in 3 women in this country will be subject to sexual or physical assault, that's just something we can't stand for as a society. And I'm so proud of all of you in Revere High School. I can't tell you what a treat it is for me to be here and see all of you and see the energy, and the fact that you're into this program means a lot. And you're going to make a better society than we found it today.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft, of course, along with you. We can tell you're both passionate about this. Tell us about the program. What does it do?
Well, it's a great partnership, Game Change. We are in 100 high schools around the state, and we're teaching teachers, students, coaches about violence prevention strategies. This is Domestic Violence Month, and people probably don't realize this, but 1 in 3 young people will be in an abusive relationship. We need to empower these young people to recognize the signs of stalking, relationship violence, domestic violence, and then give them the tools to combat that and to address that. And that's what this is about. It's a really powerful program.
We see so often with teenagers, it often begins on the phone, right? The sort of harassment and control over the phone, which they're all glued to every day.
Right, online, and we've gone to these trainings from school to school, and it's been really fascinating to listen to these students. It's real. They talk about this. They talk about what happens to their friends and their friends in relationships. And I believe this is where we need to be to address and to change the culture around sexual assault, sexual violence, domestic violence. We need to be empowering our young people, showing them the way, giving them the tools so that they can stand up and say, that's not right. We're gonna take action, and we're gonna protect one another and treat one another with dignity and respect. So this partnership with the Patriots has been terrific. Big thanks to Robert Kraft and the team for their terrific partnership on this and leadership.
For more information, in fact, on the Game Change program sponsored by the Patriots and Attorney General Maura Healey's office, you can visit cbsboston.com. You think it's making a difference already?
I know it's making a difference, and I'd love to see it nationwide.
Yeah. We're going to cover a whole wide variety of topics with you, so we do have to get to politics with what's going on out in the world. Curt Schilling announced today he's likely to try to run against Senator Elizabeth Warren in 2018. And you sent out a tweet, which was interesting, a lot of people saw, saying Elizabeth Warren fights for Massachusetts families. At Garrig, which is Schilling's handle, is Trump light. 3 words, bring it on, #fighter. So that's interesting, a Trump light candidate. What does that mean?
That's what Curt Schilling has shown himself to be. It's unfortunate. He mimics a lot of what Trump has had to say. I think that's unfortunate. I respect and admire his exploits on the field and what he did as a Boston Red Sox, but it takes a lot more than a bloody sock, a failed video business, and Trump-like comments like that to represent the people of Massachusetts. They deserve more.
So there might be a bloody fight ahead.
We'll see.
If he decides to go forward. And we also wanted to move on to a big issue. As a matter of fact, Liam and I were saying, we've never had as many tweets leading up to an interview about your current stand on gun control. You have made national news because of your move to crack down on what you call copycat assault weapons. There is an assault weapons ban in Massachusetts, and 10,000 weapons, you point out, are similar to those assault weapons, and they can be sold, and we know that you've banned the sale of those weapons. A lot of critics say that your measure has, or your decision has created a lot of confusion for gun sellers, gun buyers. So what is it that you're trying to accomplish with this?
Well, back in 1998, our legislature passed a law that banned the sale of assault weapons. It also banned the sale of copies of those weapons, copies of assault weapons. What I did as Attorney General is enforce the law. It's my job, Paula. And so we sent out notice earlier this summer when we realized that there were a lot of these copycat versions being sold here in the state, 10,000 of them last year alone. We sent out notice to dealers and manufacturers saying, you can't sell them. It's against the law. The good news is sales of those assault weapons have stopped here virtually in Massachusetts. That's a good thing. This is about public safety. There's a lot we need to do to end gun violence. There's a lot we need to do to support common sense reforms, universal background checks, no fly, no buy, treating gun violence as a public health issue. And certainly we also need to be enforcing the laws that are on the books. That's what I'm doing. It's working well.
Just to get some clarification, where do you draw the line on what you would qualify as an assault weapon? Because I think there are plenty of gun owners at home who maybe have one of these AR-15 type weapons who say, but this was legal. I purchased this legally 5-6 years ago. Why can I not sell it now?
Well, I can't account for how those purchases happened in the past. What I have said clearly is that we are not going to go after individuals who purchased those weapons in the past, believing in good faith they were able to purchase copycat weapons. I'm taking action that's going forward, that's making clear to folks you can't buy these weapons unless you're law enforcement. These assault weapons, these copycat versions, aren't for sale to the general public. And the good news is gun dealers are complying.
And the gun control issue aside, another issue which you hear about a lot, I'm sure, as we did online, is from people who say that this is overreach on the part of your office, that you circumvented the legislature. As a matter of fact, 58 members of the legislature sent a letter upset about the way that this all went down. What do you say to people who say that you are completely overreaching with your office and not consulting the legislature where this kind of law should emanate from?
Well, I think the dust is settled. I think that people see this as working, and that if you look at the actual text of the statute, what the legislature said, I don't make the laws, I don't write the laws, but it is my job to enforce them, and they understand that that's what we've done. I've heard from so many lawful gun owners and others across the state saying, we know the difference between an assault weapon and a rifle, an assault weapon and a handgun. I'm just enforcing the law, and it's as simple as that. And the good news is this is working. And to the extent people have questions about this, there's a lot of information on our website. I have a whole hotline there that can provide direction to people if there are any questions. But I think that the best evidence that there's really no confusion about this is the fact that overnight, practically, sales of these assault weapons have stopped.
Attorney General Maura Healey, thank you, as always, for joining us.